Welcome to the State of Mystery. My name is Chris. Join me is Rick. Say hi, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Great. Just great. All right. This is a show where a couple of burnt out bartenders talk about shit that we hate, we like, we don't like, which is pretty much everything that we don't like. At least I don't like much anymore. You like stuff? I definitely don't like people.
Raindrops on roses, whiskers on kittens, blowjobs.
Definitely, I'll go with the blowjobs.
Happy Days reruns. That's about it.
Anyways, this week, it was my turn to come up with a problem. Since this is a first show, we're going to jump right into it since we don't have a whole lot of other crap to go into. And these are all problems that have to do with being a bartender, being a server, being in the back of the house, front of the house. Doesn't matter what the fuck you do in this industry. Everybody has their bitches. And my biggest one, and just throw this out there, is the idea of overservice. I think it's bullshit.
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan either.
I think the line's drawn differently.
Well, I think that's the problem, is there aren't any fucking lines drawn.
What
the fuck is overservice in the first place?
There's no standard of that.
Exactly. I mean, how can you tell when... I mean, you can obviously tell when somebody's way too fucked up. But why the hell do people go to bars anyways, or restaurants? I mean, it's not. They're not trying to get drunk all the time. I'm not saying that.
I think you have to consider the forum. If someone's in a restaurant and there's families, it's obviously that it's a food-driven establishment, and the environment is not one of just sheer intoxication, then
the environment of sheer intoxication. I guess you're right. There are bars like that.
Consider that. And allow for a little of that in those sorts of environments. And when it's not that kind of place, you take, for instance, people go to ball games with their kids, and there's always some jerk screaming, F this and F that, blah, 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 blah.
So you're talking about
all
me
the way across the friggin' arena.
What you're talking about is me and you at a fucking ball game.
I'm not saying I haven't been that guy. I'm just saying that's an environment where you accept some of that.
Right.
When you're sitting there having, your Sunday family burger at Red Robin, you probably don't want to hear the same thing.
Is that what you did as a kid? You had your Sunday family burger?
No. We were too poor for that shit. You must be kidding me.
Too poor for the Sunday.
Too poor for them fancy mall restaurants.
So where'd you go when you went out to eat? That's the real question.
The cheapy Mexican places, man. That's where it was always good. That's where it was always good, man. That's where it was always good. I could get a platter just like my dad. I'd get 3 things. I'd get a taco, get a chimichanga, get a tamale, some rice and beans.
That's a lot of fucking food, man.
It's a lot of food. I'm a big boy. I was a growing boy.
Okay.
I ate a lot of food.
Yeah, I think you digress a little bit though. I wasn't really talking about the cutting off of service or the overservice as in specific to certain places. I'm talking about the Washington state law or any of the state laws, whether it's New York, anywhere else. You have these fucking signs put up that's like, if you appear intoxicated, we cannot serve you. Well, you couldn't serve the entire fucking bar because everybody appears intoxicated.
That's the case. And that's the environment of sheer intoxication that I speak of. You go into
but it's fucking
dozens
illegal.
of bars around this town.
You can lose your liquor license.
You can look at half the clientele or better, and they've had too much. You shouldn't serve them more.
That's my point. So
by
what the
those
fuck?
legal bounds. But they're adults. I mean, they could do that to themselves at home too.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of my point. I think it's bullshit. I mean, the law is fucking bullshit. It's stupid that you can. I mean, what is it, like $5,000 fine? If you actually get busted with that shit? I'm not exactly even sure what it is right now. I know you can lose your liquor license.
I believe it's $5,000.
Yeah, I really should know this because
I think it's five for the bartender or server, and $20,000 against the establishment.
That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
When I lived in Los Angeles, I had a guy I worked with get nailed for one.
Was it overservice or was it underage service?
It was. I've actually had both happen to coworkers, and that's kind of, I suppose, a lot of people could say the nature of some places, and particularly a nightclub, which was the environment I was working in. And kids always want it, particularly young girls. Guys, it's harder to fake, but girls get into clubs a lot easier than guys. If you're young and you're cute and you have a decent fake, they're going to let you through.
That explains why I always get turned away at the door.
Yeah, because you're
some old and grizzled.
Because you're old and ugly and your ID don't mean shit. Well,
I don't even need to check my fucking ID.
I had a friend though. He had a $4,000 fine levied against him. In California, it's ABC, Alcohol's Bureau Control. Anyway,
that sounds
I forget it. But he got
the
nailed
alcohol
with that.
Bullshit. The alcohol bullshit.
The club got $20,000. If they were hit again a second time, it would double, and then again from there. So that second fine for the club would have been $40,000. Again, $80,000. I don't think anyone could stay open, could stomach much more than that. I think the idea was, if you have this repeatedly, we're going to run you off the block. I think that's really tough to do when you consider the nature of the business is serving people
until they're fucking intoxicated.
Booze is poison that gives us a side effect that most of us find quite pleasurable. That's the nature of the beast.
Nature of the beast, right here.
So if you're going to legislate that we can't get me some when we're out in public, I feel like it's handled very poorly. Very poorly.
If it's even handled at all. I mean, it just gives them a license to target specific businesses.
It's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
So you could have some cowboy alcohol control guy who decides to make a point out of somebody or some establishment, and you could conversely have some lazy fucktard not doing their job for months or years on end, leading places that do need to get watched over a little bit to not be.
Yeah, but I don't even.
So it's
I don't even think
it's a mixed bag. I think.
I guess it's a mixed bag. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see bars or establishments going out of the way to get people so fucked up they can't do anything. I mean, do you go out of your way as a bartender to really get people drunk?
No, but definitely you've been in places that do.
I guess that is kind of true.
I've worked in places that do.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference of like I said, I think you have to consider the forum. Are you talking about a restaurant? Are you talking about a bar? Are you talking about a nightclub? Because in a nightclub, it's pretty much free reign.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the places are so fucking big. People are doing so many drugs anyways.
There's a lot more people management going on, but it's still pretty loose. In a restaurant, it's pretty unlikely. And I think mostly the places where you see people getting the overservice are happening in the restaurants. They're happening in places where, like I say, when people come in with their family, people come in with kids, people come in with their old, their mom and dad, the old folks.
But dude, I've worked in restaurants where people come in with their kids and they just fucking tie one on like nothing else to the table.
Seen that too.
Yeah, that happens a lot, dude. What the fuck? I mean, like
America.
America. That's all I gotta say. So that's how we're just gonna
apostrophe capital MERICA. America.
See, that just fixes everything. I'm not even worried about this anymore. That's all you had to say, dude. you just fixed it. But I mean, really,
it's amazing.
When does it become? It's amazing how that works.
These colors don't run. These colors don't run.
Oh shit. But I mean, that's what. I can't even. When does the line stop? Because you get these some of these fucking liquor control board reps, what the fuck they're called. Yeah, that's what they're called. And they come in and they're all hard nosed about all this bullshit, and they basically have free reign to take anybody who does anything in this service, unless you're in the back of the house. They have free reign just to get anybody fired at any given moment if they just don't fucking like your face. Because at some point somebody's going to be intoxicated in your bar, and you can't necessarily prove they weren't in there getting intoxicated in the first place.
Well, I'm safe. I got a good face.
I don't know.
They keep me. That's good. They've always said I got a face for the radio.
A face only your mother could love.
Got a face for the radio.
You got it. Man, I sound all right, but man, do I look like shit. That's how I get all the ladies. Yeah, so since Rick doesn't have a fucking story, I guess I'm going to have to go on this one. I'm going to tell you the dumbest fucking story I've had at a bar, at least one of the dumbest ones. I've been bartending for 12 years. I see all sorts of crazy shit. This is back when I lived in Colorado, my first bartending job ever. Fantastic place.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. The place is a fucking dump, dude. It's like one of those like wannabe Irish bars, you know, where they say it they're Irish, they have an Irish name, but there's nothing Irish about the joint whatsoever.
You got tacos.
Yeah, the food ain't Irish. There's like, you know, some fried wings.
Cheeseburger.
You have a full kitchen, but you don't fucking use it.
Potato skins.
I don't think we even have potato skins, dude.
They got Hunger Man dinners, right?
Yeah, some with like a 4-leaf clover in the front, like the Irish. We just call it the Irish man dinner. They should make those, dude.
Or cookies.
Those good. Yeah, would you like chips? It was actually Subway. That's where I was working. No. Would you like Coke and the chips with that? Anyways, it's fucking shithole Irish bar where they Fox Irish bar. I can't even call it Irish without laughing. It's a fucking karaoke bar, and like they play karaoke like 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
So all I heard was that shit all the time. I think our highest like.
So is this a Japanese Irish bar?
No. Well, maybe. I mean, we did have one Japanese guy that came in saying "she bang" all the time just to make fun of that fucking. What movie was that? She bang. I don't know. Anyways, it was a lowbrow joint. I mean, I think our fanciest liquor was Crown Royal. So you know,
highbrow.
That tells you.
Highbrow.
That tells you what kind of joint this place was. I didn't learn shit there.
Hey, it was good enough for the Queen.
There you go.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah,
made it for the Queen.
I used to smoke while I fucking worked, dude. Like that's back when you could still smoke in places, and I'd literally have a cigarette hang out of my mouth with a full bar. Days. Yeah, and just pour shots of Jaeger and shit like that. And we had Bud and Bud Light on tap. We had both. I don't know why. We didn't have any microbrews on tap. It was all, I think it was all Anheuser-Busch, dude. Yeah,
did they have Bud Dry?
I'll bet you we probably did. I don't remember much about that place. So I was
Bud Dry.
I was always pretty drunk there too. But it was my first job, and it got me into the industry. I never actually had to bar back. I never had to serve or do anything else. I had been in the I'd been a day walker for the 2 years before. My girlfriend at the time was bartending because she got fired. Then I got fired. I get fired a lot. And she got fired from the place, and I got fired from the place. And so we both ended up bartending at this fucking little joint. Anyways, it has to do with one fateful night where we had a new server on, and she was not pretty, dude. She was not pretty in any way, shape, or form. But there's this group of guys that were kind of hassling her. And there's this one dude that just kept fucking following her around. And he just kept getting drunker and drunker and more fucked up. And I was only partially on shift. And then one of our, by partially on shift, I mean that I was kind of helping out.
You were there, but you weren't really
I was there, and I was drinking, and I wasn't planning on working. But one of our bartenders got sick. Like, can you work? And I'm like, I'll do it. You know, I was pretty fucked up. I get behind the bar, I'm doing whatever, and this dude just like, he keeps trying to like, he's just being all fucking weird and tries to follow her into the kitchen. And so Josh, who was hosting karaoke that night, is coming out of the kitchen and stops him. It's like, no, you can't go back there. And the dude's like, I don't know what the fuck he said to Josh, but he said something that pissed Josh off. So Josh shoves him. The guy stumbles away a little bit. His friend's like, whoa, what are you doing? And Josh's like, you can't come back here. I'm like, all right, man, you can't come back here. Whatever. The dude like starts getting more and more angry, like irate. And it looks like he's about ready to fucking cry. Like he literally looked that angry, he's about ready to cry because he couldn't go into the kitchen to follow an ugly waitress around that he apparently wanted to bang for some reason. I don't know what the fuck was going on. Anyways, finally, we fucking cut him off. Well, I cut him off. Drunkenly cut him off. I had far too much to drink. I'm like, no, you can't have any more, man. You're being fucking weird. You know, I don't actually remember what I said. I think he was actually a lot ruder than that. Anyway, so he leaves. I'm like, all right, great. He left. Awesome. And there's 2 doors into the place. There's a main door in the front, which leads directly into the bar, and there's a karaoke stage on the right, and then there's one in the back next to the pool tables and shit. And he had gone out the back door. Suddenly I hear all this yelling from the back. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? So I run out from behind the bar, and Josh runs out from behind the karaoke stand while somebody's singing. We go to the back, and this dude is there. And by the way, this guy's not a tall dude either. He's like maybe 5'4", like a little bit stocky, but maybe like 5'4" or something. Apparently, he had gone out to his truck, and he's holding a fucking sledgehammer at the back of the door, like looking like he's about ready to swing the fucking thing. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, so
that's kind of menacing.
It's very menacing. You know, you see the guy walks into a bar with a sledgehammer. It sounds like some sort of bad, like, guy walks into a bar joke.
Yeah, where's the punchline in that?
Well, the punchline is he's not going to hit anybody with it because by the time he swings it, somebody's going to take him out or punch him. Guy's a fucking idiot. And we both just look at him, and Josh is like, just kind of spreads his hands. He's like, what are you going to do with that? Like, exactly what are you going to do? I'm like, yeah, dude, by the time you swing that, you know, you're going to be on the ground. Why don't you just fucking leave? I'm sorry you can't go into the kitchen. And he starts like tearing up and like crying. And he takes the sledgehammer and hits the ground as hard as he can, like the floor, puts this huge fucking dent in the floor, and then tries to run out the door. Lo and behold, the door is not open. And he didn't even stop to open it. And he goes right through a fucking glass door. Like, just runs. He didn't hit it with a sledgehammer. He just runs through a glass door. And falls
the man
over.
that doesn't need a sledgehammer.
No, he didn't. I figured he could have used the sledgehammer for something.
I'll just take this door out with myself.
Yeah, he took himself out, too. There's a lot of blood on that glass. Well, suffice to say, he jumped in his car and, bleeding, mind you, and took off down the road the wrong way because we were on the road was a dead end,
one-way street.
It was a dead end, and so instead of escaping from the police, he went down the wrong way. So he gave them enough time to get there to catch him turning around and trying to come back to get out into the main fucking road. And yeah, that was pretty fun. That guy was real brilliant.
Well, you still got to consider him a winner because there weren't little bits of him in the door. There were little bits of the door in him.
Yeah, but he also went to jail, and he had to pay for the door, and he had to pay for the floor, too.
Yeah, sometimes winning doesn't feel like winning, does it?
That's a good point. I don't know. I felt like a winner because I didn't get hit by a fucking sledgehammer.
So that just proves some days you're the bug, and some days you're the windshield, and some days you're the douchebag that went through the glass door.
Runs through a glass door. And then goes the wrong way and gets caught by a cop because you're too dumb to take a left instead of a right out of the fucking parking lot. So, in honor...
Clearly a redneck. Must have been a NASCAR fan.
I never inquired. I mean, he didn't have a mullet. At least I don't think he did. I don't know. That was over 10 years ago, dude.
But he liked making lefts.
Well, he made a left into the door, and then he made a right out of the parking lot. If he had made a left out of the parking lot, he would have been just fine, dude.
Well, then that story is mute.
Yeah, he's a little topsy-turvy. I figured going through the glass door might have rattled him a little bit. He was also pretty drunk.
I can see that. I've never
rattled me too. Yeah,
I've never been through a glass door.
Neither have I. I don't plan on it.
It would stifle the mind a little.
I would suspect so. Yeah. Well, in his honor, so his friends were still there. His friends stayed there after he got arrested and shit. They're still drinking. Some fucking friends, dude.
Good pals.
I know, right? Well, see, they weren't mad about that. They just thought he was an idiot. But they were mad when, in his honor, Josh, our karaoke DJ, decided to sing Sledgehammer. You know that song? I'm gonna be your sledgehammer.
Oh, the Peter Gabriel song.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Then they got pissed. Does that make any sense to you at all? Like, they weren't pissed that he had just gone through a glass door.
Was it just too soon? I mean,
it was just too soon. It was 10 minutes after he went to fucking jail.
Bullocks, who cares?
I mean, dude, I have a feeling that if my friend was going to jail, I don't think I'd stay at the same bar and keep on drinking, honestly.
I tell you what, if my friend went to jail for going through the glass door of some joint and they didn't also tell me to leave, I'd be like, well, the coast is clear. Shit, let's drink, man. You know? I'd put Sledgehammer on the jukebox, and if karaoke was going, I'd sing it.
See, I like your attitude. This is why we hang out. So the next time I get kicked out of a place, because it will probably happen at some point.
Man, life hands you lemons all the time. You got to learn to squeeze it in the booze. That's what you do with it.
Did you strain that?
Just squeeze it in the booze.
Did you double strain that?
And then double and triple and quadruple strain it. Make sure you express the lemon into the drink before you serve it.
Yeah, do not express the lemon. Do not squeeze the lemon. Express
it. Express it.
The fuck is that from, dude? Is that from anything?
Express it.
Who the fuck has ever told you to express a lemon into a drink?
Oh, that's the what do you call the mixology term? The suave, see all the suave new bartenders in the skinny
and their
jeans
fucking
with their skinny shirts
mustaches.
with their skinny ties and their skinny mustaches and their
I'm not a bartender.
And their shitty personality.
And they're not bartenders; they are mixologists. They can make a really beautiful drink inside of about 5 minutes.
I bet they don't have a problem with overservice because nobody wants to sit at their fucking bar.
If it takes you 5 minutes to make me a drink, by the time I get enough drinks in me, it's going to be time for you to close shop.
That's a really good point. It's gonna be 2:00 in the morning,
and that's pretty much like fuck everybody else here sitting wanting a drink.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. That if it takes you 10 minutes to make a drink, and you got 10 people sitting at your bar,
see, because
that's an hour and. That's 100 minutes,
and
dude.
see, everybody knows in the industry.
That's what we're shooting for with this podcast. We can't even seem to get past 10.
When you get off work, and you are working in an establishment where you can stay and have a drink, do you sit at the bar and order the $12 7-part cocktail that takes 2 minutes to make, or do you order a shot and a beer like a fucking adult?
Well, only if I hate the person I'm working with.
I'd like
Can I get 10 mojitos?
I'd like 2 mango mojitos, brah.
I'm gonna say it just like that too. I'm gonna come into your place of work with sandals,
bro.
Some cut off,
bro.
Bro,
I need 2 mango mojitos, bro,
and 2 shots of Fireball.
Make it 3 shots of Fireball.
Yeah, just like that. Make it 3 shots. Going back to overservice. I'm the worst at that shit too, dude. I don't give a fuck, man. I'll keep serving people till they fucking drop because I think it's funny as shit. I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm just gonna talk myself out of ever getting a job. I don't know. I mean, I don't want people to be like puking on my floor and shit or like super sloppy, but you'd be surprised how much alcohol people can put in them without going down. You never know, dude. Because, I mean, sometimes, as you said, those people, like, they're slurring their words and they want a couple shots of Fireball. They'll take another 4 or 5 rounds and they'll be just fine. They'll walk out straight out the fucking door and be just fine, dude.
They couldn't talk straight anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Oh, that's the worst when you get somebody who's so drunk, you can't tell if they're drunk or, like, handicapped. And so you're not sure whether to serve them or not. You ever had that shit?
Man, I'm not touching that one.
Dude, it's happened. I had a guy come in. All right, here's another story. All right, fine. I got 2 fucking stories for this. So this is when I was working in Belltown at said place I shall never name ever again. I hated working there. Really busy Friday at 8:30. Full bar, full restaurant, full place. Dude comes in, sits at the end of the bar. He doesn't look like he's swaying. He's not doing the 2-step. He's able to look me in the eye. The thing is, he can't talk correctly. Like, there's something seriously wrong. I thought he had a speech impediment, or he sounded kind of foreign, so I didn't know if like he had a hard time with the fucking English language. Yeah, those chips suck, dude. Fuck those things. I don't know why he got organic chips.
Chips are whack.
Yeah.
They're only good to make nachos with. Tell your story.
I don't want to tell my story anymore. I'm just thinking about how shitty those fucking chips are. Makes me sad. Makes me sad I spent the $3.57 on those fucking things, dude.
They're good for making nachos.
Yeah,
That's what you're gonna have to do.
that means I have to go buy cheese,
Taco
dude.
salad.
Have you seen my refrigerator? I have like 5 empty pizza boxes, some beer,
really does
And
have
They're empty?
They're empty, dude.
it's actually 4 empty pizza boxes.
Well, dude, I didn't feel like taking them out, and I didn't want to set them on the fucking ground, so. My place is pretty fucking clean. Anyways. Yeah, so this guy, he's sitting, he orders a fucking gin martini. So I'm busy making it, and he starts talking to these two women next to him, and they look absolutely horrified. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell did this guy say to these ladies? But then they just they stop talking, don't talk to him. They're talking to each other. They seem fine. Everything seems okay. So I sit down his martini. The first thing he does, he fucking knocks it over. So I just kind of look at him. Like, 'cause I still can't figure this dude out. I can't figure out if he's just like massively fucked up or he's just a fucking retard. Well, I mean, I think he was both at this point. And I kind of got the idea.
Massively fucked up retard.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just massively fucked
Can
up.
I say that?
You can say whatever the fuck you want, man. So I'm like, all right, this guy just knocked over his drink. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. And I'm thinking about remaking it for him. And I'm looking at him like, I don't think I'm going to remake this drink for this dude. So I take the drink, I put it on the other side, and I lean over to the ladies, and I'm like, what exactly? Because he goes over to the bathroom, and he comes back. He's on his way back. And I'm like, what exactly did he say to you two? She's like, he was telling us how hideous we look. And I'm like, all right, got to cut this guy off. I can't have somebody walking around the restaurant knocking over drinks who looks like he's just fine. Like he was walking just fine. Everything was just fine except for he sounded like an idiot. And he was telling people they were hideous, like women who were sitting at the bar, they were absolutely hideous to look at. So I go over, I'm like, he still wants his drink. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, dude. You're done. I can't, and I can't have you in here, talking to my other customers this way. And I'm still busy, so I run back over to the well. I'm taking care of a couple of things, a couple of tickets, taking care of a couple of other people at the bar. He's still fucking standing there, And I walk over to him, and he's like, can I get a water? I'm like, no, absolutely not. You cannot have a water. As a matter of fact, you cannot stay in here because I cannot have you telling my other patrons how hideous they are. You're being offensive. Please just go.
Was he right at least? I remember this in pretty ugly people.
That's
I'm just saying, everybody's got a right to tell you, sir, are an ugly son of a bitch.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And he's got a right to slap the fuck out of you, and then the same right to go to jail for doing so. That's how it all works.
That's a good point.
You got to have a little bit of a stomach, because you are allowed to tell people, sir, you are really, really ugly.
Well, I have
there's nothing legally wrong with that. You could walk up to a woman and say, ma'am, I'm sorry if you don't know this, but you are truly hideous. And there's nothing she can do about it.
That's absolutely true, but there is something I can do about it.
Slippery slope.
When they're at my bar, I can kick the person out who's being an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
You got a crowd control.
America.
You know what? America.
Apostrophe, capital MERICA.
America.
I reserve the right to refuse service to you and anybody. Because America.
Because America. Because you sound like a fucking retard. I go back, I take care of some more people. He's still fucking standing there. So I walk over, I'm like, look, dude, get the fuck out. Like, I wasn't pulling any punches at this point. I was like, just get the fuck out. I don't want you here. If you don't fucking leave, I'm going to throw you out or I'm going to call the cops. And so what he does, yeah, exactly, right? That's the thing you always want to say as a bartender. You try to be nice, and then finally you just snap. And you're like, dude, fuck you. Like, just fucking leave. Just get the fuck out. So,
swear to God, threatening somebody in the bar with calling the police was like your mom or dad saying like, well, you could do this or you could do this, or I could get the belt.
Yeah.
And you're like, exactly. Oh, shit just got real.
Shit just got real.
Well, shit just got real.
I took it there.
So you threatened to call the cops, which means mama got the belt.
Yep. So I pulled out the proverbial belt. He starts crying, dude. He fucking starts crying, like sniveling, and fucking, yes, exactly like that. Just like starts crying. And I'm like, and the thing is like, I had exhausted, I had no sympathy in my heart. I did not fucking care. I'm like, get out now. And so he leaves, and one of my regulars is standing outside. He takes his shirt off. He hits my friend in the ass with his shirt like a whip and runs like hell up the street, bawling his head off.
Like,
now, I don't know what the fuck. Yes.
Towel style?
Yes.
Roll it up and like swip somebody in the ass with?
Like, and he's crying. He's crying at the same time while he's taking his fucking shirt off, snapping somebody in the ass, and running like hell up the block. That is one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had with somebody. That tops a lot of them. I've never seen somebody break down and start crying because they got cut off after they told a couple people they're hideous, then take their fucking shirt off.
Here's the truth, dude. You are the one who is hideous. Look inside yourself, man. That is why you've been...
That's why you're crying. I didn't say... if I had said that, maybe I could have understood why you start crying. Man. I don't know. Maybe
get yourself a wham burger and some French fries.
Would you like some French fries with that? I don't know. What was the dumbest thing you've heard recently? Like just recent, just something really fucking stupid. Because I'm not working right now, so I don't have anything recent.
I gotta say the wells run dry a little bit lately. I've tuned out a lot. You've been tuning out.
That's what I figured. You start getting burnt and you stop listening. That's it. All you hear is drinks and fucking...
not listening.
Yeah.
That is more the issue, I think, a lot for me these days. But no, there's always... I mean, my God, through the years, I've heard some pretty phenomenal things said at the bar from... I mean, from the Maury Povich moment where you're like, wow, that's your baby? I've actually heard that at the bar. I never imagined two people
that's
could
fantastic.
be so cavalier about a topic
that's your baby?
that, you know, I would think would be pretty important and kind of private, you know. No, we're just going to sit at the bar and say it loud enough that the bartender and probably a couple other people could hear talking about it. By the way, that's your baby was what I heard was what the woman
By the
said.
way, that's your baby?
By the way, that's your baby.
What the fuck, dude?
Was the
that's
term
that's a rude awakening right there.
My ears perked right up. I mean,
God.
I could have heard a mouse fart after that, man. I was hearing everything. But, yeah, that's
always the worst when you're actually trying to tune out
bad one.
And you hear something like that and you just can't for the rest of the night. And you hear the dumbest fucking shit.
Yeah. Well, I worked near a cancer treatment facility, a hospital, and this guy sitting there talking with his daughter, or a friend, or whomever was there taking care of him, whatever. But he was obviously sick, and he sitting there talking to him about. He got up one morning. And
I don't like where this is going at all.
he got up one morning.
Sounds disgusting already.
And he went to the bathroom and he couldn't do what he needed to do. And then, normally we all know that's just usually a temporary thing.
Yeah.
But whatever this guy knew it was something a little more serious. And then he goes to calls his family doctor. So he goes to go see the doctor, and the doctor takes a camera and puts it where the sun doesn't shine. and
he's talking about this at the bar. Just talking about getting a camera showing up his asshole.
I mean, because what better conversation to have in a place
over a couple drinks,
over a couple drinks and maybe some calamari than the colonoscopy that I got this morning.
Wait, he's eating fried food, but he got a colonoscopy in the morning.
Right.
Well, there's that kind of tells you what's going on there.
My goodness. The things people will say in public is absolutely astonishing.
I honestly think it actually might be kind of a good thing.
That social lubricant. I mean, we all know that's it. It comes away a little easier as soon as you have a drink or two. But
sitting here talking about lubricant and you're talking about shoving stuff up people's asses. Where are we going with this, man? It's a good thing. It's a good fucking thing we're not sitting at a bar right now, isn't it? Somebody listening to this conversation, like, what the fuck is wrong with these assholes?
I figure what better time for a word like lubricant.
It's well played. Well played, sir.
It is exactly social lubricant. Gets people out of their house, off the wall.
I don't overhear a lot of other people's conversations very often. I don't pay that much attention. Although stupid shit that people ask me is pretty amazing. I mean, when a guy looks at a menu for 20 minutes and then asks me if we have fucking nachos, and I'm not working at a place that has chips or anything even close to nachos, there's no Mexican food, and they're asking me if I have nachos. Some pretty dumb shit, dude.
It's pretty dumb.
Well, his friend literally like almost like hit himself in the head with his fucking palm. Almost did a face palm on that shit. He's like, no, they don't have nachos. This is a menu. So his friend knew what's up. I don't know. I think he was pretty drunk though. Once again, overservice.
Reading is a challenge.
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
Maybe I should have cut him off. I could have gotten a fine.
In a restaurant. Could
have gotten a fine for that shit. Lost my bartending. Some people call it a bartending license. You don't have to have a fucking. I guess you do have to have a license to bartend.
Sadly, in the state of Washington, it's called a mixology permit.
Oh yeah,
which totally just gratifies the term.
Well, I mean
mixology.
That makes me wonder something though. Like mixology in general, it's a fucking dumbass term. I mean, somebody who makes smoothies a fucking mixologist. They're mixing shit. So does that mean somebody who makes cement is a cement mixologist?
I'm pretty sure the guy down at Sherwin-Williams is a mixologist because he's putting paint together and making. He's a
better mixologist than anybody behind the bar is. He can make any fucking color he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can behind the bar too, but
you think booze will get you there if you drink it? Why don't you drink some paint? That'll get you there.
Wow, man, his you know what? His job is really similar to ours. He gets high all day. He gets high all day and he mixes shit. And he tries to get people the right color. Man, that would be a shitty fucking job, dude. I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Their slogan.
No, I wanted off-white.
Their slogan is "Cover the Earth."
It's cover the earth.
Cover the earth.
Cover the earth and paint.
It's a ball. It's the earth. It's the world. It's a globe with a can of paint dumping over the top of it, and it's just kind of oozing over the globe.
That seems extremely self-serving. I mean, that's a lot of paint. They really
want
to
the
sell
wrong
that
image if you want to. If you ask me, like, really, you want to paint the entire earth?
We're just here to sell as much paint as
trees
possible.
And flowers and water isn't painted.
You see the same guy. You see the same mixologist like painting flowers out in front.
It's perfectly good flowers there, sir. Yeah. Really didn't need that fresh coat of paint.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate what you're doing. Your work it's spot on. You're really good at it. Not a drip. That's amazing.
Pretty incredible shit. All right. On the note of shit that people say, I was thinking about some things that fucking bartenders do that's absolutely hilarious. This is kind of tales from the other side of the bar, when I've been sitting down somewhere. I was sitting at a friend of mine's bar down in Lower Queen Anne in Seattle, obviously. And a friend of mine's working behind the bar, and super busy Friday night. He's a great bartender. He's been doing it for a long time. So have all the people behind that bar. And so, some of the newer drinks you're not really familiar with. This guy comes up and he's like, hey, man, can I get like 5 pink pussy shots? And Jason's like, what the fuck? So he turns around and he's like, do you guys know what the fuck a pink pussy shot is? And, other friend's like, no, I don't know what the fuck that is. Ask the other bartender. He's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Jason turns around. He's like, all right, I'm not exactly sure, but I'll think of something. So he goes over to the well, does his thing, makes 5 shots really quick, and they turn out green. And he's like, let me tell you what, they ain't pink, but they taste like pussy. Let me know, because I'm going to be a fucking millionaire. So it's actually...
That's a good line.
It was awesome. It was one of those moments where I just started everybody started laughing so fucking hard. It was fucking amazing. I miss bartenders like that. You don't find them very often anymore. Everybody's just so beat all this shit by this fucking industry and all the dumb crap that goes along with it. It's a whole new generation of shit bags that are in this fucking industry.
A whole new generation of shit bags.
It is.
We had a changing of our draft system one day, and all of our taps changed over, and
that's always fun.
Well, it's always fun and learning what they all are and everything. But I make jokes and mimic things, and that's a lot of memory for me, and how I I remember a pretty fantastic amount of things, I think, and I've always been told. But
well, yeah, you're kind of a fucking encyclopedia.
I'm kind of an encyclopedia, right? That's just kind of my brain works that way. But of nothing that makes me employable at all.
Well, that's not true. You know a shitload of drinks, so you can remember.
Okay, I got one.
Beer.
I got one.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get 2 Beers Pilsner in there, and 2 Beers Brewery, local brewery here in Seattle, and as the tickets start coming through, I see it as 2 beers and a 2 beers and a 2 beers, and
so you make 8 fucking beers.
So
That's exactly.
No. So I decided to put a little voice to it.
When I was there, I did that. The first 2 shifts, I was always making. So I ordered 2 beers. I was getting them 2 beers.
So I'm doing the. That's right. I do remember you doing that. But
fucking dumb, dude.
But I'm doing the Super Friends thing from or Super Fans thing from Saturday Night Live. We get this 2 beers. I'm so 2 beers and 2 beers and 2 beers. That's that's 6 beers all day. And I'm killing people with it. I think one time I called out like that. The guy actually did pour, 4 I think was the call. So I had 2 extras, to deal with. But it's kind of funny how some little thing like that, 2 beers comes out on your tap, and people pour 2 of them. It's a good thing it's not 3 beers.
I know, right? Think about the liquor, the waste on that shit, dude.
That's just ginger ale.
Yeah, it's just ginger ale. Good old ginger ale. Well, fuck it. Overservice is bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. So he wants to pound 100 beers, let him fucking do it.